Ever wondered which French king was the ultimate warrior? We're about to dive deep into history, ranking every French monarch from 481 to 1848 based on one simple metric: how many wars they actually won. Get ready for some surprising results, epic battles, and a few kings who, well, didn't do much fighting at all. Let's start at the bottom of our list, with the kings who had minimal or no victories. In last place, we have Louis XVIII and Louis Philippe I. Neither of them led France in any major military campaigns. Louis XVIII was restored after Napoleon, and his reign was focused on rebuilding, not warring. Louis Philippe, the citizen king, also avoided major conflicts, focusing on internal stability. Next up is the infamous Louis XVI. While France technically came out on the victorious side of the American Revolutionary War, the immense cost bankrupted the kingdom and directly led to the French Revolution and his own execution. So for the monarchy itself, it was a catastrophic loss. We're counting this as 0 wins for him. Then we have Louis XV. He gets credit for one disputed win during the War of the Austrian Succession. France saw some early victories, but the overall result was messy, and the gains were ultimately handed back. It wasn't a clear-cut triumph, landing him low on our list. Charles X also secures one victory. He successfully intervened in Spain in 1823 to restore the Spanish monarch, a quick and decisive win for France. Moving into the lower-tier winners, we find a cluster of kings with 1 or 2 victories. Louis XI, known as the Universal Spider for his scheming, managed to win the Burgundy succession crisis, a complex web of political and military moves that secured a huge territory for France. Louis VI, nicknamed the Fat, spent his reign consolidating royal power. He won to key types of conflicts, crushing rebellions from his own powerful feudal lords and pushing back against Norman influence, strengthening the crown's authority within France. Charles V, the Wise, also gets 2 wins. He was brilliant. Instead of meeting the English in massive, risky battles like his predecessors in the 100 Years' War, he used clever tactics. He slowly reconquered territory lost to England and secured influence in Brittany, chipping away at English power piece by piece. Louis XIII, with his famous minister Cardinal Richelieu, also scores 2 victories. He successfully crushed the Huguenot rebellions, consolidating Catholic control in France, and had several successful early campaigns in the devastating 30 Years' War, setting the stage for future French dominance. Philip IV, known as the Fair, is another tour winner. He engaged in long and costly campaigns in Flanders and also had a significant conflict with the Kingdom of Aragon. These wars were tough, but they expanded French influence. Finally, in this bracket, we have Francis I. This Renaissance king is famous for his rivalry with Holy Roman Emperor Charles V. He gets credit for 2 partial victories in the Italian Wars, most notably his stunning victory at the Battle of Marignano early in his reign. Now we're getting to the mid-tier winners, the kings who really made their mark on the battlefield. Kicking off this group is Charles VII. Often underestimated, he was the King Joan of Arc served. He achieved 3 monumental victories. He completely expelled the English from Normandy, then kicked them out of Aquitaine, effectively winning the final phase of the 100 Years' War and uniting France. Next, Henry IV, the first Bourbon king. He also has 3 major wins. He inherited a kingdom torn apart by the French Wars of Religion. His victory was ending that brutal civil war, famously converting to Catholicism with the words "Paris is worth a mass." He also defeated the Ultra-Catholic League and began challenging the powerful Habsburgs. Saint Louis, or Louis IX, is another 3-time winner. He's remembered for his piety, but he was no pushover. He brought the long Albigensian Crusade to a victorious close, decisively defeated King Henry III of England when he tried to reclaim lost lands, and expanded French influence into Provence. The first king of the Franks, Clovis I, enters the list with 4 major victories. He was the founder of what would become France. He defeated Syagrius, the last Roman ruler in Gaul, conquered the Alemanni, pushed the Visigoths out of southern Gaul, and asserted dominance over the Burgundians. He truly forged a kingdom through conquest. Now for the top 5, the titans of French military history. At number 5, we have the Great Charlemagne. His entire reign was one of almost constant warfare. We're giving him 5 major campaign victories. He conquered the Lombards in Italy, subjugated the Bavarians, and subdued Frisia. But his most famous and brutal conflict was the 30-year war against the Saxons, a long and bloody affair that ultimately expanded his empire dramatically. He also fought the Avars in the east. In 4th place is his father, Pepin the Short. He might not be as famous, but he was a relentless campaigner. He scored 5 big wins, twice intervening in Italy to defeat the Lombards and protect the papacy, which laid the foundation for the Papal States. He also conquered Aquitaine after a long struggle and launched successful campaigns against the Saxons, Alemanni, and Bavarians. At number 3, we find Philip II, also known as Philip Augustus. He was a master strategist and a patient, cunning king who transformed France. His 5 victories were monumental. He completely outmaneuvered the English kings, especially King John, taking Normandy, Anjou, Touraine, and Brittany from them. This broke up the massive Angevin Empire and made the French king the most powerful ruler in the land. Our runner-up, at number 2, isn't technically a king, but he ruled as one. Charles Martel, the Hammer, the grandfather of Charlemagne. As de facto ruler of the Franks, he racked up 6 massive military victories. He famously defeated the Umayyad invasion of Gaul at the Battle of Tours, a pivotal moment in European history, but he didn't stop there. He launched campaigns to subdue Aquitaine, the Alemanni, and the Frisians, and fought multiple wars against the Saxons and Bavarians, cementing Frankish power. And finally, at number 1, the undisputed champion of French warrior kings is Louis XIV, the Sun King, with a staggering 8 major war victories. No one else even comes close. His reign was defined by military expansion. He won the War of Devolution, the Franco-Dutch War, and the War of the Reunions. He fought the 9 Years' War and the massive War of the Spanish Succession, which, despite being costly, included major French victories that secured the Spanish throne for his grandson. His armies successfully campaigned in Flanders, Alsace, and Franche-Comté, expanding France's borders to roughly what they are today. He built the largest army in Europe and made France the continent's dominant power. So there you have it, from the kings who never fought a battle to the Sun King who never seemed to stop. The history of France was written in blood and iron by these monarchs. Who surprised you the most on this list? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history.